Merry meet everyone, and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am your Wednesday host, Houston, and this week we are talking about the element of water. I have watched Ava's and Rhiannon's video, and they did a fantastic job of describing water and how they use it and some associations with it. Um, Today I wanted, or tonight, well, whatever, I wanted to go over some associations that I associate with water. That's kind of a mouthful. Um, what I use the element for in my practice, or how I harness its energies, um, and um, so yeah. For me, I am not a water element. I am actually, I kind of am. I'm not really big into astrology, so but what I know is that my sun sign's Capricorn, so that's Earth. My moon sign is um, Leo, which is fire, and my rising sign is Pisces, which is water. So I do have water element in me, in the signs, but I don't. It's just weird. But I've always been gravitated towards magic-wise and energy-wise towards Earth and water. I am been, I've worked with all the other elements, but I mostly work with the element of Earth and the element of water. Um, and when I work with the element of water, to me, water embodies the world of astral travel, anything psychic, the world of dreams, divination, which I guess that could be under psychic abilities, or yeah, healing, um, emotions, um, cleansing, spiritual empowerment, banishment. But it could also be I can't think of the other what I was gonna say, but sorry. Um, the cool thing is that I live close to a beach, so I'm able to go out and collect fresh seawater or fresh sand from the beach to use in my spells, which is very fantastic. Especially if you like sea witchery. Um, but when I think of water as an element and as an energy, I think mostly, like I said, of the psychic realm. Um, I love psychic development. I love also healing arts. I think of that as well. Those are the two main things that I study in my craft. Any way I can to evolve psychically and learn different techniques in healing wise, energetic healing or healing in general, I feel is under that term. Um, Also, I wanted to note I do have a specific altar I have set up to one of my patrons who is the god of the sea, and I have a tattoo on my arm, Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, Ormanen, Ormanen Maclear, um, the Celtic god of the sea. They don't go hand in hand, of course, but I have worked with both. I have felt a strong pull towards Poseidon, other than Menan Maclear, but I wanted to explore my Celtic heritage, so my Irish heritage. So I've done some research and I've called on him a couple times. But Poseidon, when I first started, I felt really strongly with him, and I know he's with me all the time. Um, but one of the things that I love to do, and I mentioned this just in the last week's video with music and song, is when I've had a really bad day, and it's just really bad day at work, or really bad day at work, or I'm just feeling low. I'll get um, my music going, and I'll get in the shower, and I'll sing. And while I'm singing to my favorite songs or whatever, I'm visualizing that not just the sound of the music, but also the water is cleansing and purifying and taking away all that negative baggage that I may have attracted out throughout the day. Um, a really cool thing that I have found from my studies that water, the element of water, is able to help us with in the realm of psychic abilities is flexibility. Being flexible and being fluid to be able to go from one particular one particular strand of images or energies and straight into the next without that break. Water element helps you. It doesn't really help you form the communication. That's something you have to practice on, but it helps you. I guess I don't want to say internalize, but it helps you um, recognize those energies. Um, and so you're going, from this energy pattern to another energy pattern, and you're able to, I'm just visually playing it out, and you'll be able to switch to them, with more fluidity. But it also helps you with that in life to be more fluid and more flexible. Um, Another cool thing is if you are empathic, water definitely helps you to get rid of excess emotions that you may have caught on, good or bad. It also helps you set up boundaries. I know because when you think, I just said water helps you be flexible and helps you be fluid, and why is it now? It's all setting up boundaries. Um, Water is able to mold into any shape you can think of, as long it has that container. Um, so if you think of the element water, you can think of yourself as the protective bubble, and you can envision that with a water element, and that would help you deal with an emotional stressful time. You can add that extra elemental layer onto your shielding or onto your auric field to help filter out those negative emotions and set boundaries. That's one of the most important things, especially if you're empathic. You need to learn how to set boundaries for yourself and for others, so they do not cross those lines. You don't have the backlash of dealing with um, certain emotional problems that empaths deal with. Um, for me, water can be soothing and it can be recharging. It depends on the situation that I'm in. If I am feeling, again, we'll go with the blahs. If I'm feeling crappy or blah, and I'm not at home, I'm still at work. Um, and if it's on a good day here in South Carolina, there's a rainstorm. So if it's raining lightly, I'll go outside, and not to get soaked, of course, because I still have to work. But I'll go outside and I'll stand in the water for a little while just to have a couple drops, or a couple drops hit me, and just visualize it just washing off me. And I'll go back inside and dry off. Um, Hell, even if I'm at home, I'll go stand outside in the rainstorm because I can just come back in and change clothes. Um, or just hop in the shower and do the same thing. But or if I'm feeling like overly energized, like let's say I did a ritual and I was empowering something, like empowering an amulet for protection or for strength or for courage or for um, opening and destroying roadblocks, um, things that I need to do. Um, just say an example of, um, and I just couldn't ground. I just couldn't ground myself. I just couldn't get rid of the excess energy. Um, Sometimes taking a shower at the end of those is one way. Not a hot shower. That would be a cold shower. Kind of shock your senses back, but a semi-lukewarm cold shower um, to get my energetic self from like way out here to closer to my body, so I don't feel, you know, spaced out. Um, that's just one way to do it for me. Um, but another way to do it, like that I ground after ritual, is just get a spoonful of honey and do it that way. Um, if I'm by myself. If I'm not by myself and I'm with a group, then I'll ground, take my shoes off, and ground that way, or sit on the dirt, or depending on where we're at, um, visualization, all that jazz. But so yeah, let me think. Um, I always like to leave you guys with a spell for the elements. Because I know talking about associations, you can only go on for them for so long, and there's like, you're hearing everything repeated. Um, One of the fun ones, and it's very, I guess you could say, modern-esque, um, is a banishment spell that uses toilet paper and your toilet and a marker. So what you would do is you would take the original spell says you would need a whole roll of toilet paper and um, the toilet and your Sharpie or whatever. And you would take either, you can do your magical number, so it could be 3, 9, or 7, or 13, or what have you, or it could be 6, 4, whatever. What's your magical number? The book said that the author's magical number was 9. So she took 9 sheets, and on each of the sheets she wrote, "I banish debt. I banish debt. I banish debt. I banish debt. I banish debt," until she had all 9 sheets down. She threw them in the toilet and flushed the toilet and said, "I banish debt." She did that continuously until the roll of toilet paper was gone. Um, that's just a way that it's a crude way to banish something, or some you could do that for someone too. Ideas. Um, Another good water spell that I like to do is the freezing spell. And it's a freezer spell, and it's very simple. It's I don't know what type of magic. It's folk magic. I know that. I don't know if you would call it hoodoo or whatever, but I know it's folk magic because it's in a lot of books. I don't know where it historically came from. I just know that I've read it from a ton of different sources. I've read it in one of Christopher Penzak's books, I believe. Or in a couple of Silver Ravenwolf's books. I know Judica Isles has it in her 1,000 spell book. I don't have the big 5,000 spell book. I have the smaller version, the 1,000 spell one. She has it in there. I need to get the bigger one later down the road. But what you do, essentially, what you do is you want to banish someone or something from your life, or put it on freeze. You want to put it on pause. You just don't want to deal with this. You have so much going on in your life. You just don't want to deal with this right now, so you just want to freeze it and actually just freeze the situation. So it could be an entire situation. And what you want to do is you want to have a piece of paper big enough where you can write out every detail of that situation. And then fold it away from you 3 times, or how many ever times you feel like folding it. Usually magically 3. Be 3, 6, 9, whatever. Donations or numbers with 3, I guess you could say. The value of 3 are magical. You all know this. But fold it away from you because you want to get rid of it. You don't want it to come back to you. So that's a hoodoo thing. Fold it away from you. Fold the paper away from you. So if you're folding it, you would fold the paper like this, and then like that. Fold it away from you so nothing's coming toward you. Then stick it in a little Ziploc bag. Fill the bag with just enough water to fill the paper, like have the paper sunken, and then stick it in the back of your freezer. And there is words that Silver Ravenwolf has used. Chill out. You slam the freezer door and you can say chill out. You can say I freeze this, or you can say chill the fuck out. I've done that too. But it's not just for situations that you want to freeze. It's also for people. It's a great cool the fuck down type of spell. So if you have a particular person who is just getting on your nerves, this is grating your nerves, and you just want to find a peaceful solution, but sometimes that takes toning them down a little bit, this is a perfect spell for that. And there can be a lot of things added to this spell. You can add herbs and essential oils to make different effects. I'll tell you of a story that happened to me with one of my spells after I tell you how to do it. You write the person's name on a piece of paper, fold it 3 times away from you, put it in the Ziploc bag, fill it with water, and stick it in the back of the freezer. And when it freezes, the energy is stagnant and frozen. So what happened? I did that. I added a little bit extra to it. I added some of my homemade hot foot powder. Um, and this person got really sick. Um, she went to the doctor, and the doctor didn't know what was going on. She had severe sore throat, burning in her throat, um, mucus in her lungs, coughing up stuff, really bad sinus problems, almost like flu-like symptoms, but fever on and off. I think I can't remember. This has been years ago, um, like years and years ago. Um, So, and this was like when I first actually full on like angrily banished someone. So, and that's what I consider that it's like kind of like a banishment spell. So, I let it go on for a couple, let the freezer, the bag in the freezer stay for a couple days. I think like 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. Um, and she just kept getting worse, worse and worse and worse. She's not, side note, she's not dead. She just moved somewhere else. So I couldn't see it anymore. The guilt was kind of getting me. And I know now that you can't be guilty about what you do. You can't feel guilty about it. You just have to do it. Um, so I took it out of the freezer and I threw it in the trash can. I was like, I'm done. In the next couple days, her illness cleared up and it was miraculous and blah, 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 blah. So it's an awesome spell. Um, the power of just the power of your intention. But I just wanted to share that with you. The little story, side note story. I know I got off on the element of water, but there's those 2 spells that you can do that involve the element of water. But if you have any questions for me, comments or concerns, please leave them below in the comment section. I will check this throughout the day and throughout the week, and I will definitely answer you back. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and until next week, many blessings.